Welcome, acolytes. Today I am reacting to chat claim victory as Ciri has different models shown from blah, 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 lack of entertainment or V with this little nice looking video model. Well, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't know this. I seen this and I was like, acolytes, this is a beautiful day. This is a really beautiful, nice day. It could also be just a 1-2 punch like Daniel Vara did, but hey, maybe it's not. Maybe it's true. So let's start and see what that Ciri, my sweet little Ciri, or everyone's little Ciri, from every fan actually got pretty. She wasn't ugly before, she was just uglier. Now she's made beautiful again. I love this is what Ciri deserves. Simple as that.
Oh my goodness,
not
the
this,
impossible actually transpired. A corporation listened to customer feedback and they decided that actually they may have some competent artists out there that can make their character more marketable.
Hell yeah.
Now, I don't think they did the perfect job because if you were to outsource this design to Asia, they would actually teach your Western brain on how to create a properly marketable character. Or if CD Projekt Red would have a time machine and they would get their original team that worked on The Witcher 2 to be unshackled, free, allowed to spread their creative artistic wings without the looming HR hag over them. They too would have created a much better city. Yes. In fact, I do believe that Witcher 3 had a better representation of Ciri, and I don't give a fuck about the bullshit. Oh yes, but she is old now. She is old. We gotta make her look old. No. Look at how Mike complained about the nasolabial thing, right? Like, look how it's a lot less pronounced in the new design. Had they got rid of it altogether, I think it would have been a better thing. And also, she's a fictional character. Fiction. You can have boobs. You can have tits. Create horror and dismay in America, Poland. Like, they create horror and dismay into Europe by saying they will pull away their soldiers. We need to terrorize the American, and you can only do this with memories. Like, the power of femininity shakes the Americans to the core.
Yeah, it basically, and he is, by the way, correct, even though he's actually joking about this, but to a certain degree, if you make somebody remember the good old times and that everything's going to shit right now, nobody will actually defend the country they are in. They will just let it rot. And this is the downfall of a country. It takes a lot of time, but it can happen. So, as funny as he tries to say, it's effective.
Both the left and the right wingers, like, do it, Pollen, add tits into video games. I can't, by the way, like all of this is pretty much nonsense because at the end of the day, you can mod the game, right? So, like, you can mod the game and there's going to be Ciri with big tits and there's going to be Ciri in bathing suits. Like, the authoritarians are going to blow a gasket, right? And they're going to have, like, their commissions. We're like, how can we allow? No, the fabric of our society. Oh.
And by the way, I think that if Ciri was suddenly a freaking, like a Bavarian woman, like two absolutely gigantic honkers, people would also be mad because that would be more of a parody of Ciri than actually Ciri herself. So, I'm gonna be honest, both of those extremes sound freaking bad to me.
Oh, we need to bring back the moral majority. Necromancers, raise them from the dead. Find out any woke person that's left. Let's convert them back. Let's stop allow. The conversation will be had on Twitter when the mods come out. I'm pretty sure of it. But the thing that I find interesting, and this is actually worthy of having a conversation, is the power of the customer when we're united. Right? Like, we here in the entertainment car are the immoral majority. Like, our car is colossal. No other car is as big as ours, because at the end of the day, the purpose for video games is to cause entertainment.
Correctly.
And the other purpose of video games is to sell. And no other car has the purchasing power that we do. And so the first thing that the woke ideologues did to our car is to segregate it. If you guys remember the slew of articles that were gamers are dead, gamers are over, trying to destroy the gamer identity.
Yep.
This is why they did it, is to allow the companies to have their own grifters, to have their own hiring-based nepotism and racism, and to keep pushing for stuff that are not consumer-friendly. Like, on one hand, it was ideological, and the other hand, it was economical in nature, to reach to the point where a video game now is around $120 if you want to play it early. And it's got a lot less quality than the previous ones. It's got a lot more DLC, right? Like day one DLC. Do you remember, like, back when gamers had an identity and Capcom released, I think it was Marvel vs. Capcom or Street Fighter X Tekken, I forgot which one. But basically it had the character on disc that you needed to pay extra in order to access it. And the gamers really did a lot of pushback against that, right? And we were successful for a period. But the first thing they did was to destroy the gamer identity. Yes. And so you're not all gamers now. You have like girl gamers, you have gay gamers, you have social justice activist-oriented gamers, you have bigoted gamers, Nazi gamers, right? So they destroyed the community to make sure that there is no voice. And the ones that were supposed to represent us, the game journalists, they didn't do that, right? Like they represented their own interests and promoted their own friends. And so with that out of the way...
I mean, they just wanted to fill their own pockets, and they did a... And Acolytes, I am just saying this as a really effective thing. Like, this is probably the only positive thing you will hear me uttering about this. They were really effective at it. They really demolished a lot of groups and actually got away with it for a couple of good years. So I respect the effectivity and the grind behind it. I don't respect the goal. I don't respect the people, the freaks that came out of it. I don't respect even that it happened as it happened. But I can respect the grind and how they did it. And we can all learn from that, to be honest. How to actually effectively go through stuff like this and not fuck it up in an aggressive way like they did. And we should truly try, to just have a unity, Acolytes, that is based on reason, on freaking helping each other and being there for each other. And if there is a freak attacking, just delete it. Just hit as delete as. Hit as delete as it is. Good.
You end up with companies even affording to have cheeky little shits community managers that would foster even more dissent into the community, insulting customers, belittling customers. Like the conversation isn't can we have a good game, but the conversation is like, what do you goon at? Right? Like, are you a gooner? Oh, you're a gooner. That means you're a misogynist or you're a degenerate. Oh, how can you like pretty women in video games? And so, like, the purpose of injecting masculine-looking female in video games was specifically this, to cause the dissent, right? At the end of the day, no one cares because you have mods, right? Like, this is the correct answer to the gooning question. It's like, no one fucking cares, right? It's a single-player game. It's entertainment. You should play it any way you want. The same mentality isn't applied to books. Like, if someone takes a crayon and decides to modify his book, or do it in another way, why would you care, right? Like, no one cares what books your neighbor reads, but for some fucking reason we care what video games our neighbor reads. Like, that's mental illness, that's deranged, that's not normal. And it's being pushed by corporations to create dissent into the community. Now, you can see that Nexus Mods is doing it as well, because the mods should literally be off limits. Like, no one should complain about them, right? Like, it's a video game that's single player, someone decides to mod the character in his game to have big tits, who fucking cares, right? But the fact that they do care shows that they are the problem, and they are the problem because they don't want the community united. Like, the moral policing serves in order to splinter the community on ideological lines and get people to argue with each other while the companies take advantage
Yep.
of us by making more expensive games, by making lower quality games, by charging us more for their games. The reality is that if you look at the game that's coming from Asia, like what the
Yep.
Chinese are doing now, most of their games rarely cost over $40, but their
First of all, yes.
monetization is that they put pretty characters in, and then
Yep.
they sell merchandise. They sell T-shirts,
Correctly,
they sell
they
rights,
do.
to the character. They sell keychains. They sell all these products, which people then buy, and the extra money justifies why they don't need to have like 120 deluxe edition and all that shit. So hopefully, with this new mindset, with gamers finding common ground, we can actually push back against companies, and as you can see, companies actually listen. Now it's
Yeah, the thing is, I think that the pendulum is swinging back. So right now the companies will listen until we reach the next extreme. So try to avoid it as freaking hard as possible, acolytes, as long as we can, because the pendulum will swing to the other extreme, and the other extreme is right now being prude about everything. So yeah, let's watch that one. How this goes on, won't me?
It's about character design and it's about trivial shit. But maybe in the future they can actually listen to the point where they stop doing all of this DLC nonsense. To the point where they stop charging you $120 for a game. To the point where they stop releasing games that are broken on launch. I mean, in my opinion, this is just the first step to a more important conversation. Right? Like, just making good-looking characters is the rallying cry to get people together to agree that, yes, as customers, we do have our own interests, which differ from the company.
Yes.
Because the company's interest is to make money. Our interest is to receive a good product and a value for the dollar that we're paying. And this conversation can only happen if more people come together and stop arguing with each other over trivial shit.
Yeah, correctly. If we just hold together, it can be accurate. It can be beautiful. Supporting each other is more important than actually tearing each other down. But I still will proclaim, acolytes, the enemy you are facing right now doesn't deserve any kind of actual kindness. We did this mistakes. When was it? 10 years ago with Gamergate. Don't repeat that mistake. Using their tactics just works against them. And we have to do it as long as they exist. After they are deleted, we can go back to being normal human beings, or liches, or undead, or shadows, as we are, and then just live in peace again, at least for a time. But as it is, acolytes, good night.